the video is recording yet, but
Yeah.
this can go before the actual interview.
Sure, yeah, no, just want to check the sound. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, no, it's really great to be back in person, definitely. Yeah, meeting the students face to face. Actually, there's some students I taught 2 years ago when we were online, and so I knew the names but never seen the faces before. So finally, putting some names to faces.
What's it like matching them up? Is everyone what you expect?
There's a few surprises. Yeah, no, I've really been enjoying it, and the students seem much more enthusiastic this year.
Mm-hmm.
And just everyone's so happy to be back. Yeah, it's been a tough time for you guys. Not the best time to be at university.
No.
So there's a big kind of sense of relief this year. I think it's maybe even harder for the third years, like the people who started the university during the pandemic, and some people who have never been face to face before. I met one third year student who said that last time they did an in-person exam was, I think, when she was 16. So it's going to be quite a shock this year, going back to the face-to-face, in-person, closed book exams. So.
Yeah. Can't imagine what that'll be like. It's been a while for me as well.
Yeah.
So the first question is, so people have been, by the time, so this comes out at week 9, so by then people will have chosen, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so people will have chosen their final year projects for next year, next semester. So how would you go about tackling a final year project?
So I think probably the best piece of advice is to start writing up early on, like as soon as possible, maybe even in the first week. So when you start the project, it feels like you've got forever, the deadline's in 12 weeks' time, but it soon passes by, especially once you get to the middle of the semester with, midterms and the presentation as well. So yeah, start writing up as soon as you can. Try and write up every week. Yeah, it's quite nice if you do it in overleaf, so you can share your tech file with your supervisor. And it's actually worth learning a bit of LaTeX as well. Like at the start of the semester, read one of the LaTeX manuals. Like there's a good one, the not so short introduction to LaTeX is really good. Maybe also read could be useful to read a book on writing as well. Like The Elements of Style by Strunken and White is pretty good. So yeah, I think get a good head start on the writing, so you're not in like a desperate panic at the end. Because in the end, your project market's based on what you produce, not what you've learnt. So it doesn't matter if you know loads of stuff, but there's no record of it. So I think that's my main tip. Oh, and also you should. It's important that the project you're actually doing mathematics, not just writing about people doing mathematics. So, and if you can put some originality, like originality of presentation. So it's not a research project, you don't have to prove any new theorems, but if you can put in some of your own examples, either new examples, or maybe you can solve some exercises from the textbook, so you can really show this is mathematics, I've done myself, I'm not just copying a proof from a book. So try and include as many examples as you can. I think, yeah.
And then just following on from that, what would you say the most important thing someone should get out of the project is?
Well, it's your chance to choose what to study. So for the first time, you choose the syllabus, essentially. Obviously, you're within some constraints of the theme of the project, but finally, you can just, it's your opportunity to follow your nose, go in a direction that you're excited about. And along the way you're going to learn lots of important skills for later on, presentation skills, writing, presenting. But yeah, you should just have fun with it. Choose your own adventure.
Yeah, I remember doing my presentation. That was quite fun. Having to prepare it and then having to condense all the work you've done over us. Well, at that point it would be 8 weeks. You have to condense 8 weeks of work just down into 10 minutes, and it's not as easy as it sounds sometimes.
I think it's good actually for students to be on the other side of the table. You're the lecturers for once, and you can see, it's not always so easy.
Yeah, it's when someone when I was giving, I did it in group theory, and someone asked me, so can this be applied to growth of actual trees? And I was just like, I don't know. It's a good question. I don't have any idea.
And that's a good actually tip for the presentation. It's also fine to say you don't know. I mean, we don't always know the answer.
Is there a problem that got you into your current field of work?
Yeah, so maybe first I'll just say what my current field is. So like the general field I work in is called optimal transport theory. It's a very fashionable area right now, although it's not really a new area. It goes back to 1781, I think, and a French engineer called Gaspard Monge, and he was interested in the optimal way of building earthworks, I think, for Napoleon. So the optimal way of transporting soil to build these earthworks. And it turned out to be a really hard problem, like even to prove that there was a solution. And there was some progress made in the 1940s by Kantorowicz, but it wasn't really solved until the 1980s, 1990s, even 2000s, that the field was put on a rigorous mathematical foundation. And then since then, it's found loads of applications. So it's really a growth area. It's had applications both in pure mathematics and geometry, and applied mathematics, PDEs, image processing, machine learning. So that's the general area I work in. But it's not how I started my academic career. I was working more in material science, mathematical material science, and I was doing a problem on polymers, and it turned out, and quite naturally, that optimal transport arose in this problem on polymers, and that's what got me into the field where I work today. And now I apply optimal transport in material science to some weather modelling with a collaborator from the Met Office. I work with some people from Tata Steel Research and Development, also some purer pattern formation problems, and but it just kind of came out through this problems on polymers.
Okay. Just to advertise something else, you had a Maths Cafe talk 2 years ago, where you talked about it. Go check that out. You've got a very applied degree. Have you ever used it outside of maths, like in your real life?
Yeah, so I guess the first time, like when I was an undergraduate, I did an internship with a software company. They were called Romax. It was software for designing gearboxes. And then that was in I think, before my final year of the undergraduate. And then I used a lot of tools like linear algebra, ODEs. So it's modeling, as helping them make software for modeling noise and vibration in gearboxes. So then I really saw, especially linear algebra, just how useful it was. Then later on, I've done various problems with industry. I did one with the Maritime Research Institute in the Netherlands on the design of ships. That was using quite a lot of ODEs and dynamical systems again. And then currently I work with Tata Steel Research and Development, using optimization theory to help them essentially design new alloys. So definitely there's applications of maths everywhere, and then for me it's been really useful.
And then what about more so in your day-to-day life? Do you ever see something and think that's an optimization problem?
Yeah, I mean it's useful. It's useful in the news sometimes, just understanding the news and the statistics in the news. And during the pandemic, when everyone was talking about R numbers, but you see optimization problems everywhere, and it helps you approach the news in a kind of a scientific way.
Is there something you don't like about maths?
So you mean maths itself or the job?
Anything, the job, maths itself. Do you hate number theory, maybe?
I like number theory actually. No, I think for me, the hardest thing about maths, it's a really technical, challenging subject, and it's not easy. So obviously a lot of students struggle with maths, but maybe they'll be relieved to hear that the faculty do as well. And it's hard for all of us. It's just such a technical subject. I enjoy it, but you really have to work at it. And obviously over the years with experience, you kind of develop a mathematical muscle memory. So it does get easier, but still it's something we have to work at very hard. It's like, if you want to be a good athlete, you have to exercise a lot, you have to train a lot, and if you want to be a mathlete, you also really have to work at it. So it's not something that comes naturally to me. In general, even the very best mathematicians, so I'm friends with one of the Fields medalists. So the Fields medal, this is like the Nobel Prize in mathematics. There is no Nobel Prize for mathematics. The Fields medal is one of the highest awards. And so I know one of the Fields medalists, and I know he works extremely hard. So obviously he's amazingly gifted. He's got incredible mathematical talent, but he's got where he is by working incredibly hard. So even the very best mathematicians, they really have to work on it. So I guess the moral is, the undergraduate students shouldn't be put off when they find it hard. I mean, it is hard. It's one of the most technical subjects you can do.
Mm-hmm.
There's kind of this romantic image of mathematicians sort of daydreaming, and suddenly the idea pops into their head, but that's not the way it works.
Nice little break in the middle as we check the recording. So, contrasting the negative about maths, what's your favourite part of your current work?
It's a good question. Maybe it's worth mentioning for the audience, like all the different aspects of the job. So there's kind of a lot more to it than maybe many students realise. So obviously, teaching is a very big part of the job, but also there's doing research. We're expected to publish maybe 1 or 2 research papers a year. We supervise PhD students and postdocs. We do admin, so I'm currently the Year 4 coordinator. We act as external examiners, so we check the exams of other universities. We also examine PhD students from other universities. We have to write grants to fund our research. We also have to kind of go on tour to sell our research. It's like being a mathematician. It's a bit like being in a band. Your band, when they release a new album, they have to go on tour to promote it. We have to go on tour to promote our research. So there's a lot of travelling too. And so it's a big, many parts of the job. But I'd say currently what I'm enjoying the most, now things are going more or less back to normal. I've really been enjoying being back on campus and teaching face-to-face again. It's been really great. Meeting the students in person. Everyone's just been so happy to be back. There's been a lot more questions, a lot more engagement than I remember pre-pandemic. So the teaching's been really rewarding. And also coming out of the pandemic, I've started to travel again for research. So this year I was in Paris in March, talking about my research. I was in Brighton, I was in Newcastle in Consolidation Week. And this year I've still got trips to Durham, Liverpool and Munich. So that's really nice as well, to go and meet people, and you promote your research, you also exchange ideas, you get ideas for new research, make new collaborators. So like the human element this year, especially after being isolated for a while, I'm really enjoying that right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's nice to see everyone back on campus.
Yeah, it's really great.
This kind of ties back into when we were asking about the final year project and what you should get out of that. What should you get out of finishing an undergraduate degree in maths?
So, well, hopefully we've convinced you that maths is really interesting and beautiful and useful. I think probably that one of the most important things you learn, it's not perhaps so much the individual theorems or the tools, but it's more the approach to solving problems, like the problem-solving skills, like the fact that abstraction can be very useful. Like to how to formulate a problem abstractly, and then maybe you see some hidden structure that isn't really so clear if you just kind of maybe look at all the model or the equations. So I think really the approach to problem solving is one of the most important things. Mm-hmm. I think that more or less covers it. Like we said already, it's been really great to be back. It's been really nice to meet the students face to face, because I'm teaching students now who I actually taught already 2 years ago, but I never saw them before. It was just online, so it's been really nice, to put the faces to the names, and hope everyone's enjoying it, and well, they seem to be so far. Yeah, as year coordinator, there's not been any major problems this year, and hopefully it stays that way.
Yeah, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Yeah. Well, thank you again for doing the interview. We've been planning it for a while, and I'm so glad that we finally were able to do it.
Yeah, me too. It's great to see you again.
Oh, it's nice to see you as well. Yeah. Anything else, Penny? Or do you think that's good? No? Perfect. Okay, I'll stop recording now.